Meghan Markle is becoming more like Michael Jackson by the day. And by the way, I'm not talking about talent. I'm talking about the odd way that she is choosing to raise her family. The wig, the hat, the glasses, she believes it's the only way she can move around unnoticed. According to sources, the undercover routine intensified after Meghan's recent trip to Britain, where she wasn't photographed once. And perhaps even more surprisingly, barely caused a ripple. After the UK, she's become obsessed with staying invisible.
Meghan Markle returned from Britain without being photographed once, and now, the moment she came back to Montecito, she became obsessed with leaving the house in wigs, giant sunglasses, baseball caps, and baggy clothes, so nobody could recognize her.
At this point, the disguise is probably attracting more attention than her face would.
But there is one huge problem with this story. Just days ago, Meghan was accused of putting her own family in front of allegedly fake paparazzi, carefully releasing private photographs, and turning a supposedly private UK trip into another public spectacle.
And then we come to the most mad part. The paparazzi are tracking them down. They are on their tail. Oh yes, they were there. They were there. But there just happened to be no pictures whatsoever. So what happened instead? Meghan posted these.
So which Meghan are we supposed to believe? The woman desperate to disappear, or the woman who appears to make sure the world sees every image she wants it to see? According to the new report, Meghan has allegedly turned disguises into a regular part of her life outside the gates of the Sussexes' Montecito estate. The claimed look is not subtle. Wigs, baseball caps, oversized sweatshirts, loose trousers, huge sunglasses.
Whether it's privacy or paranoia, one thing is certain, somewhere in Montecito, the local wig shop is having a very good year.
Everything is reportedly planned before she leaves the house. One source claimed that she believes this is the only way she can move around unnoticed. And this is where the story immediately becomes strange. If the entire point is to go unnoticed, why does the public suddenly know the full disguise list?
First of all, why are we hearing about her disguises? If you're going out in disguises, then why is it being spoken about? Just go out in your disguise and shut your mouth. This is because she wants people to know about it. This is all a branding thing. I don't even know why we would even hear about her going out in disguises. She is not all that. It's ridiculous.
Why do we know about the wig, the hat, the glasses, the sweatshirt, and the trousers? A real secret disguise stops being secret the second every detail is handed to the media. The report does not make Meghan look invisible. It makes the alleged invisibility look like another carefully packaged story.
So what are they trying to achieve here? Can I give you my theory, Tash? They have to keep pretending that they're a couple in demand. You know, that there is a bounty on their head, that the paparazzi really do want them. So while they're briefing about this family holiday, the message, Tash, to the paparazzi, and by the way, to the who they claim are after them too, is hunt us down in Portugal. We need you to hunt us down, because unless you hunt us down, all of our argument about permanent British government paid security collapses.
The timing is even more explosive because the report claims that this routine intensified after Meghan's recent trip to Britain. During that visit, she was not publicly photographed. There was no clear paparazzi shot of Meghan stepping out of a car, no airport image, no long lens photograph outside a private residence, no blurry street picture, nothing.
They were there. Yeah. They were after us, okay? They wanted us, they tracked us down. Promise. Security really is an issue. Oh, but there just happened to be no pictures. Well, Tash, I usually know how this game works. If the paparazzi do capture pictures, they are published, because that's how it works. They're not necessarily published in the mainstream British media or even the mainstream American media, but they find their way into a magazine in France or Australia or Europe. Exactly.
Before we continue, one quick thing. One thing I've realized is that most families don't have their important information organized in one place. That's exactly why I recommend the Family Vault, a simple printable and fillable organizer where you can keep everything from important documents and insurance to medical information, passwords. You'll find the link in the description, or you can simply scan the QR code on your screen. Now let's get back to today's story.
For someone whose public image has been built around relentless attention, that silence was impossible to ignore. The obvious explanation could be simple. The visit was private, the locations were controlled, and nobody happened to capture her. But critics are asking a much harsher question. Did the lack of photographs prove that Meghan was being successfully protected, or did it prove that the photographers were not desperately chasing her in the first place? That question cuts directly into the image the Sussexes have spent years building.
Yeah, I would think that she would have wanted to be photographed. I'm surprised we didn't see her as well, Dan. It's kind of strange. See, I think that's what we have here. Someone that's just not people are not really thinking about her like that. They really aren't. And I think she has this whole illusion about who she is, her perceptions about who she is completely different than what we see.
Harry and Meghan have repeatedly described an intense battle with the media. Security has been one of Harry's biggest public fights. Privacy has been used to explain decisions, legal action, travel arrangements, and the way their family is presented to the public. Yet the UK trip produced the exact thing they have often said they wanted.
Meghan has this perception of herself that it's not reality. I mean, just look at all the lies she tells. Something is seriously wrong with Meghan, and I think that's why Harry has found himself in so much trouble now, even financially, because of the lies, the spins. Just nothing is legit, with them. And it's concerning, especially when other people are involved and children.
No uncontrolled photographs of Meghan. And somehow, according to this new report, that did not bring relief. It allegedly triggered an even stronger obsession with staying hidden. That is why the story is not really about a wig. It is about the contradictions surrounding Meghan's entire public image. When the cameras appear, the cameras are treated as a threat. When the cameras do not appear, a new story appears explaining how much effort she must use to escape them.
I do wonder if she's looking at the Michael Jackson playbook and thinking there was almost a bounty on the heads of Michael Jackson's children because of the way he disguised them, wore masks, wore veils. Do you think this is all part of some twisted commercial plan? Because she's never been scared of being seen before.
Either way, Meghan remains at the center of the conversation. Then came the photographs from the UK trip. The public may not have received spontaneous paparazzi pictures, but Meghan still released carefully selected images herself.
For a security-conscious couple, Meghan even posted a local restaurant, which is apparently located near where it was rumored that they purchased a property.
Here's my house! Here's my house! Come and visit!
Exactly this.
Those posts gave the world glimpses of moments that had supposedly remained private. The message was clear. The press did not control the pictures, Meghan did. She could keep the trip hidden while it happened and reveal the images later, on her own platform, under her own timing, with her own framing. That is not invisibility, that is control.
Because Meghan obviously believes in privacy for her children. Of course, she won't be sharing any images. It's like, seriously, if you are leaking details of your private holiday to People magazine, you're not just a D-lister, Tash. You're like a reality star. Like, even the Kardashians do not brief People magazine about private family holidays unless they're trying to promote some particular brand.
And the fake paparazzi controversy made the contradiction even harder to ignore. In the previous story, Meghan was accused by critics of presenting a situation as a frightening paparazzi encounter, even though they argued the images looked staged, arranged, or deliberately created.
Wants to take photographs all of the time of them, but they have to turn around. I can't imagine what that does psychologically to a child growing up, going, oh, I want you to go play, I want you to chase your sister, I want you to go have your birthday dinner at Disney Resort, but you're not allowed to turn around. You're not allowed, go hug daddy, but make sure you turn your head.
Those claims have not been independently proven, and the report must be treated as allegation rather than fact. But the public reaction was brutal because the scene appeared to fit a familiar pattern: complain about cameras, then release content built around the cameras. The latest disguise story now lands directly on top of that controversy. We are being told that Meghan needs wigs and enormous sunglasses because recognition has become such a serious problem.
Duchess of Sussex has become so committed to flying under the radar that disguises are now a regular part of whenever she ventures beyond the gates of the couple's Montecito estate. We're told the look includes wigs, baseball caps, oversized sweatshirts, baggy pants, and sunglasses large enough to qualify as home security systems.
At almost the same time, her own photographs and carefully released family content keep her name moving across the internet. The public is not being asked to stop looking. It is being told exactly where to look. If Meghan truly wants an ordinary trip to a shop, a restaurant, or a friend's home without attention, she has every right to seek privacy. Famous people use hats, sunglasses, different cars, side entrances, and security arrangements every day.
The disguises alone is ludicrous. If someone saw you, what? What are they going to do? What? Oh, that's Meghan Markle. No one is trying to harm her, to grab her, to make her as if she is, as famous as Michael Jackson. It's ridiculous.
There is nothing shocking about wanting to avoid a crowd. The strange part is not the alleged disguise. The strange part is the dramatic report describing it as though Meghan has become so recognizable that leaving Montecito now requires a full undercover operation. One source even compared the situation to Michael Jackson, claiming the disguise may attract more attention than Meghan's real face would.
Now she almost never leaves the house without some kind of disguise. Those close to the Sussexes say going incognito has always been part of the couple's playbook. Before their romance became public, Meghan and Prince Harry famously attended a Halloween party in Toronto dressed in costume, and Harry has spoken before about trying to blend into everyday life. But some royal insiders can't resist rolling their eyes. She acts like she's Michael Jackson.
That comparison was designed to explode across headlines, and it worked. But it also created a humiliating question. Is Meghan actually being hunted by photographers, or is she trying to preserve the image of a woman who must be hunted by photographers? Michael Jackson lived under an extraordinary level of global attention. Crowds followed him, airports stopped, hotels filled with fans. A simple public appearance could turn into chaos within minutes.
I think Meghan is just trying to bring a lot of attention to herself, and everything that goes around her branding is about all these different stories being placed here just to give her some kind of, credibility with, her status as someone who is reputable, who is high level A-lister.
Comparing Meghan's baseball cap and wig to that level of fame is not flattering. It invites the public to measure the Sussex image against reality, and critics believe that reality no longer matches the performance. There is also an old and bizarre connection that makes the comparison even stranger. Back in 2022, reports said Harry and Meghan had hired one of Michael Jackson's former bodyguards to help protect their family in California.
She was like, oh crap, I've just proved that we can move around Portugal. We can take the kids out to the beach. Harry and I can go around. And Harry's desperately still scraping, trying to get the security back. He's apparently still lobbying the Home Secretary. And I'm sure our latest Prime Minister no doubt will have a letter soon from Harry himself.
That does not prove anything about the current disguise claim, and there is no confirmed evidence that this former guard created or advised any alleged undercover routine. But the old report now creates an almost unbelievable callback. First the Jackson security connection, and now headlines claiming Meghan is leaving home in Jackson-style disguises.
Dogs on private jets, if we are to believe her imagery.
The security issue matters because Harry has spent years arguing that his family faces serious risks. His legal battles over protection in Britain were never presented as a small celebrity complaint. He described the issue as a barrier to bringing his family to the UK. He argued that his status, public profile, and inherited risk did not disappear when he stepped back from royal duties.
Do not live a normal existence, right? They live a freakish
not.
existence. They're like prisoners in a gilded cage with two paranoid parents who, for their own motivation, are sort of using their imagery in an odd way to make points that don't even exist. Because why else would Liam Maguire say, they're just so normal. They're just so normal, Tash. They just go to the beach and play. Like, this is not
What's
news.
wrong with California?
Yeah, exactly. But this is not news unless you're trying to prove something.
Those concerns should not be dismissed simply because critics dislike the Sussexes. But serious security concerns are not the same as a celebrity branding campaign. The moment a private safety strategy becomes a colorful story about wigs, giant glasses, and a local wig shop having a very good year, the tone changes. It stops sounding like a sober security plan and starts sounding like an image designed for clicks. That may be the fault of the person who leaked the story, the source who exaggerated it, or the publication that turned it into entertainment. But once again, the result benefits Meghan's visibility.
It doesn't make sense. We know that they don't have the money to, first of all, to fly a dog really seriously. I don't believe that. I don't think Meghan is in a position now to really make her brand work. So I think she's just trying all of these different things to bring credibility to herself.
While claiming to explain her invisibility. The UK connection makes the entire thing even more damaging. Meghan's return to Britain was already surrounded by secrecy, speculation, and questions over what was photographed. Before the trip, there were warnings that private family moments could be turned into content. After the trip, selected images appeared. Then came accusations that the little ones had been placed in front of supposedly fake paparazzi. Now comes a report that Meghan returned from the same visit, determined to hide behind disguises.
Do you really believe Meghan used a private jet to transport her dog for a couple of weeks from Montecito to Portugal and then the United Kingdom? Are we really meant to believe that, given this is a woman who's struggling with the money? And also the disguises, why? Like, no one really cares about her.
Each story tells a different version of Meghan. In one version, she is fiercely guarding every private moment. In another, she is carefully documenting those moments. In another, she is allegedly arranging the attention she later condemns. And in the latest version, she is hiding under a wig because ordinary public life has supposedly become impossible. These versions cannot all fit neatly together. That does not mean every claim against Meghan is true. It does not mean every picture was staged. It does not mean every paparazzi encounter was arranged. And it certainly does not mean security risks are imaginary. But Meghan and Harry have created a public strategy so complicated that every new story now collides with the last one.
Yet, if Meghan and Harry are to be believed, they're using private jets again to cross the Atlantic?
This story is weird. Okay. They're trying to say it's like drunk driving when you fly on a jet, Dan? I'm confused about that. Like, what does that mean?
As in, it's so irresponsible.
Their message changes depending on what they need the public to believe that day. When they want sympathy, the cameras are dangerous. When they want promotion, the cameras are useful. When no cameras appear, the absence becomes proof that Meghan has gone undercover. When private photographs appear later, the release is presented as personal and controlled. Privacy no longer means staying out of public view. It means choosing the exact moment the public is allowed to look.
I do honestly wonder what their mental health is going to be like with Harry, who is so paranoid, so delusional. I mean, we saw it on Netflix with Meghan saying, "We're being followed, Harry." And you saw genuine fear flicker on his face. I don't think that he faked that moment in the car because Harry just cannot act. But then I suppose nor can Meghan really. But he did have that fear.
That is why critics are mocking the disguise report so aggressively. They do not believe the problem is that Meghan cannot leave the house. They believe the problem is that she cannot leave the headlines. A woman genuinely committed to moving unnoticed would not need the world to hear about every item in her disguise before her next trip outside. Imagine the scene described by the report. Meghan allegedly stands inside the Montecito mansion deciding which wig to wear. A cap goes over the wig. Giant sunglasses cover half her face. A loose sweatshirt hides her shape. Baggy trousers complete the look. Security checks the route. The car leaves through the gates. And then, somehow, a source tells the media exactly how the entire operation works.
I'm really surprised that we didn't see anything of Meghan. I think it just points to her brand in itself. She's just not that high level, and people are not really trying to find her, take her photos, unless she's calling people to show up to take her photo. People just are not doing that on their own.
That is not a security leak the Sussexes should celebrate. If the report is accurate, it exposes the very method Meghan allegedly relies on. If the report is inaccurate or exaggerated, then someone is using a ridiculous disguise story to keep her in the news. Neither possibility helps the image of a couple asking to be taken seriously. The reaction has also been shaped by Meghan's long relationship with celebrity culture. She did not leave royal life and move to a quiet, unknown town.
This is so nuts. Like, how thick do we think, how thick do they think we are? Firstly, why are you briefing about your personal holiday while then
Again.
claiming your personal holiday is private? You don't see King Charles and Camilla do that. You don't see William and Catherine do that. If they are on a private family holiday, it remains a private family holiday. And as a result, there are no paparazzi pictures. Secondly, how twisted is it to announce to the world, oh no, the paparazzi were there, Tash.
She moved to California, launched media projects, signed major entertainment deals, appeared in interviews, created lifestyle content, promoted products, attended high-profile events, and continued using the Duchess title. None of that is illegal or automatically hypocritical, but it makes the claim that she now needs a Michael Jackson-level disguise harder for the public to swallow. Montecito is full of famous residents. Actors, producers, presenters, and business figures live there. Many of them go to restaurants, shops, and private appointments without turning each outing into a global incident. Meghan may face different attention because of her royal connection, but critics argue that the dramatic language around her life consistently makes normal celebrity management sound like a national emergency.
It's bizarre. I mean, I do understand some parents don't want to expose their children on social media, the internet. It's dangerous, of course it is. But obviously, when you have the number of photographs that she's released, it becomes freakish. It becomes like a circus act. You know, lots of parents have pictures of their children's backs of their heads because kids run around, they don't sit still. But these are so heavily contrived and so posed. And I think that's why the children always look so rigid.
And Harry is pulled into every contradiction. He has genuine reasons to care about intrusive press behavior. His anger toward the media is deeply connected to his mother, his childhood, and events that shaped his entire life. But Meghan's publicity cycle repeatedly places him inside stories that blur the line between protection and promotion. The more dramatic the branding becomes, the harder it is for the public to separate serious security concerns from another attention-grabbing headline. That is especially dangerous after the UK trip. Harry appears to be exploring a path back into Britain without Meghan beside him at every step. Reports have focused on solo visits, possible accommodation, private meetings, and whether he can rebuild some level of trust. Every new Meghan controversy complicates that process.
It didn't work out for her in a way not being photographed when she was in the UK, because I always believe she is desperate for the paps to catch her. We saw that at Fashion Week too.
A headline about wigs may sound silly, but the larger message is not silly at all. The Sussex media machine still appears chaotic, contradictory, and impossible to control. The palace does not need another public war. It does not need private meetings followed by strategic leaks. It does not need a family visit transformed into weeks of headlines about secret photographs, fake paparazzi, disguises, and hidden content. If Harry wants a serious relationship with Britain again, the people around him will want proof that private moments can remain private. And right now, this disguise story sends the opposite message. Even Meghan's alleged attempt to disappear has become public content.
They just can't help themselves. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry have now decided to brief to People magazine that their life in Portugal is just so blissful. No idea why we needed to know that. No one was asking. No one was trying to find them. Archie and Lilibet can simply be kids there. A source telling the magazine why the Sussexes keep returning to Portugal, where Archie and Lily are just so happy.
The most brutal interpretation is that the UK trip did not frighten Meghan because she was photographed. It allegedly unsettled her because she was not. The press did not capture her. The public did not receive a spontaneous image, and the visit created less visible chaos than expected. Then, after returning home, a report suddenly appeared portraying her as a woman forced to disguise herself because recognition is supposedly unavoidable. That interpretation may be unfair, it may be completely wrong, but it is spreading because Meghan's previous choices have made it believable to her critics. She has repeatedly spoken about privacy while releasing intimate content. She has condemned intrusive coverage while using media attention to support projects.
Meghan, I mean, it's the bottom. I mean, just when you think she cannot go lower, she outdoes herself. As I've always said, Meghan's the best at being the worst.
Before we continue, I want to mention something really quick. Organizing your family's important information is one of those things most of us know we should do, but we keep putting it off. That's exactly why there's the Family Vault. It gives you one place to organize your important documents, insurance, medical information, passwords, and more, so everything is easy to find when it's needed. You'll find the link in the description, or you can scan the QR code on your screen. That's all. Now let's get back to today's story.
She has presented herself as stepping away from royal spectacle, while continuing to build a brand around royal identity. The disguise story, therefore, becomes another test of credibility. Not because wearing a wig is a scandal, but because the explanation surrounding the wig appears to contradict everything the public has just watched. Yesterday, the argument was that Meghan allegedly created or encouraged a paparazzi moment and then presented herself as its victim. Today, the argument is that she cannot leave home without going undercover. Tomorrow, there may be another exclusive photograph, another carefully framed family image, or another story explaining why the public must keep talking about her privacy. The cycle never ends because privacy has become part of the product.
She doesn't want anyone to recognize her. One insider tells Naughty But Nice everything is carefully planned. The wig, the hat, the glasses. She believes it's the only way she can move around unnoticed. According to sources, the undercover routine intensified after Meghan's recent trip to Britain, where she wasn't photographed once. And perhaps even more surprisingly, barely caused a ripple. After the UK, she's become obsessed with staying invisible.
And that may be the real reason this tiny story has exploded. People are not shocked by a baseball cap. They are shocked by the endless performance around it. The disguise is supposed to hide Meghan, yet the headline places her face everywhere. The sunglasses are supposed to stop recognition, yet the story makes readers study her appearance even more closely. The wig is supposed to create anonymity, yet it becomes another symbol attached to her brand. No one outside Meghan's inner circle currently knows how often she actually uses disguises, whether the report is accurate or whether the details were exaggerated. There are no clear public photographs proving a regular undercover routine. The claims come from unnamed sources and should be treated carefully, but Meghan's team now faces a simple choice.
This is the Duchess of Sussex's weird new secret. He reports, forget the tiara. Meghan Markle's latest fashion statement is apparently a wig.
Ignore the story and allow the mockery to grow, or respond and give the disguise claims even more attention. Either way, the damage has already been done because the headline fits the contradiction people recognize. Meghan wants to be seen as one of the most watched women in the world, while also insisting she is fighting desperately not to be seen. She wants complete control over access, images, timing, and context. The problem is that total control is not privacy, it is publicity with rules. And the rules always seem to change when the attention slows down. So after a secretive UK visit, selected private photographs, accusations involving fake paparazzi, and years of arguments over security, Meghan is now facing perhaps the strangest headline yet.
She is only leaving the house in disguises.
That she is allegedly doing a Michael Jackson and leaving home in elaborate disguises. The wig may or may not be real. The giant sunglasses may or may not be part of a regular routine. But the contradiction is impossible to disguise. If Meghan truly wants to disappear, why does every attempt to disappear become another exclusive story? And if the world is supposedly desperate to photograph her, why did she return from Britain without a single uncontrolled image? Tell us what you think. Is this report evidence that Meghan genuinely fears being recognized? Or is the disguise story another attempt to make ordinary celebrity life sound like a global security crisis? And after the fake paparazzi controversy, can the Sussexes still sell privacy while releasing the images themselves? Leave your thoughts below. Subscribe to Crown Clash and turn on notifications because with Meghan, even invisibility somehow becomes a headline.